maybe it's time for us to go to the hospital, have you checked. And I said, okay, because I also wanted to help myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to get better because I still care about life. I care about myself. And I felt that it was really a phase wherein I just really needed to heal and face the internal issues that I did not get to address before.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Your Journey, where we gather stories of resilience, growth, and self discovery. So, for today, I'm so excited. We have Tel on our podcast, pero a lot of people call you Krystel, and I guess I just would like you to introduce your whole name, where you're from, where you're based now, and what do you currently do.
Okay. Hi, Thea. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you again for inviting me here. It's such an honor to be able to share my story later. So my name is Krystel Santos. I'm 35 years old. Wow. I just turned 35 last Christmas.
Woo.
Wow. I'm a business and operations lead for a design company based here in Manila. I'm now residing in Baler. It's a province. But I actually stay in my mom's place whenever I'm in Manila naman because I'm very close to my mom and all. So, but here I'm living an independent life. Appreciate the lifestyle here. It's very different from the city life where it's so fast paced. My work pretty much the same as what I do in Manila naman. It's online work. The time that we have for work is more flexible. So sometimes I work in the evening, sometimes I work in the morning or daytime, ganyan. I moved here because mainly I love nature. So it's part of my healing. Nature has healed me a lot because when you are out here, kasi you are not bound to stay indoors. You have to
Exactly.
go out, surf, meet new people, and it's all positive vibes here. Eh? It sounds cliche, but the lifestyle here isn't very toxic like in the city wherein it's very corporate. Nothing wrong with being corporate for the
Yeah.
corporate people naman. It's just that it's the type of lifestyle that I want for myself now.
You know, I'm based in New York right now, and it also feels very fast paced. And so I'm actually planning on moving out of New York to Hawaii. So parang,
Oh,
oo.
wow!
So
Amazing!
I wanted to like, I guess a part of me is a bit nervous because I'm so used to like the fast pace, but I'm also aware that my spirit is kind of being battered by everything, and I'm curious like how many years have you stayed in Baler now, and like what has been like, I guess I guess were you also having the same fears of when you were thinking of moving?
Yes, I actually had the fear of moving here in the province because, of course, I'm not used to this kind of low key, modest, really modest lifestyle, no? And I was afraid in terms of the support system that I will be receiving here. And it turned out really great because the community here is very tight. So they helped me find a place where I could stay long term. They take me out whenever I feel a bit down. So it's a really great province, and the people here are very helpful and supportive. And siguro ang main fear ko before was moving here and telling myself that this is really the lifestyle for me
Mm,
because when I was living in the city, I was attached to this kind of life wherein I have to work 24/7.
Yeah.
I was attached to my title. Um, it was really about accepting what is true in my heart. So when I moved here, I realized who I truly am. Like, this is the kind of life that I want pala. Like, I enjoy the modest life, the simple life. But not necessarily me not wanting to achieve goals naman. Of course, I still have goals, but it's being balanced by nature.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
I love that for you. I feel like after this interview, I'll have to like talk to you even more about that. But let me get us back on track. Give us something unexpected about you. What's a fun fact that you have, or a random skill, or a secret obsession? Like anything.
When I was in college, di ba we were in Assumption.
Yes.
I rarely joined extracurricular activities because I was just really focused on academics that time. So I wanted to make my mom happy in terms of grades. And I'm the type who would really need to focus on one thing at a time. That's why I couldn't do extracurricular activities like dancing.
Yes.
So I don't know if you were able to see some of my posts on Instagram, but whenever I happy, ecstatic mood, I dance on Instagram or on TikTok, and people find it very amusing, and I get amused by myself as well. Parang, ha ha ha, this is the playful side of me pala.
Yeah, no, I've seen those. I'm like, oh, so fun. Like whenever I see
Yes.
those posts of you, I'm like, okay, this has put me in a good mood as well.
Thank you. So yes. So that's one of my skills, or maybe a talent that I never got to showcase way back.
But at least now you
But
have.
at least now, yes. And Sharifa also has been asking me or inviting me to dance with her in
Oh my
her classes.
goodness. Yes.
Yes, so I hope one time I'll be able to attend na talaga.
Oh my goodness. I feel like if I visit the Philippines, let's plan it all together because I want to
Yeah,
dance with you both.
yes.
Next question. When you look at your life so far, what do you think shaped who you are today?
Wow.
I know.
My mom shaped me into becoming this woman that I am now in terms of strength and how I see the world in a lighter way.
Mm.
Because I'm really the serious type, but if you get to meet my mom, she helps me lighten up my mood.
Oh, that's
So,
good.
yes, she's very supportive and very resilient in a way that she's calm regardless of what happens to her
Oh, nice.
in life. I rarely see her panic. Actually, I don't see her panic. She's the kind of person who would just solve problems.
Oh, wow. I need that
That's
kind of mentality.
Yes, exactly. So I've been learning that a lot from her, especially now that I'm back in Balera, wherein my energy is just all about me because I'm alone here in the house. So I don't really get to feel other people's energy na quite negative. So I'm able to recharge right now. And I'm reflecting on the things that my mom has been telling me about life, and I realized na, oh, maybe I am very serious about life. Now I'm learning to enjoy regardless of the problems that or challenges that I am encountering once in a while.
I know. I That's also a problem of mine too. I'm like I take everything so seriously that
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my goodness, how do I pass my days?" And I'm always just like worrying and
Yes.
right? Like and
Yeah.
some when I have like these conversations, there's a reminder like, "My goodness, there's so many things that are great about life. Life is so short, and we spend
Yes.
so much time like taking it so seriously.
Yes, yes.
What do you think is a challenge that you faced, and how did you overcome it?
It would be when I was diagnosed with severe depression. So, just to give you a background, before I had severe depression, I was actually diagnosed with depression already. And then it got severe when I had discontinuation syndrome because I decided to stop taking my medicine, which was totally wrong. I did not consult my doctor when I decided to stop taking my medicine. And after that, I was kind of rushed to the emergency room because I've been very down for like more than a week. And then my mom told me, maybe it's time for us to go to the hospital, have you checked. And I said, okay, because I also wanted to help myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to get better because I still care about life. I care about myself. And I felt that it was really a phase wherein I just really needed to heal and face the internal issues that I did not get to address before when I was younger. So I
I'm curious, like, how, like, what's the difference between depression and severe depression? Like, how did it manifest in you?
Well, when I was just depressed, okay, there were times where I would feel down, and some intrusive thoughts would come in,
Mm-mm.
but they were manageable. The difference between that and severe depression was I was ruminating already, meaning
Oh, I see.
my mind was just full of negative thoughts and I couldn't detach myself from the negative thoughts. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I was crying a lot in my room. I didn't want to get up or do anything else. I didn't want to eat. I was just in bed.
Mm.
So that's why I'm really thankful for my mom and even my siblings. They were really observing me that time kasi.
Yeah.
Um, so when my mom told me na, oh, we've been observing you and I think you're not in a good place anymore. So I was like, oh, you're right. I'm really not in a good place. Let's go to the hospital.
I'm so happy that your family was there, especially during that time.
Felt that it was also timely because throughout the healing journey, when they realized how severe my depression was, my family also started to heal. We started to become tighter, more open in terms of communication. We listen more to each other. Dynamics became very different.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing. Because, like, a part of me also is like, oh, there's this like stigma when it comes to like depression and everything. It's not something that is really talked about. And so when I
Yeah.
saw your posts about it, I was like, wow, Krystel is like really strong to like really come out and even like talk about this. Even now when I'm listening, I feel myself, oh, I'm the one who's like, worried for you. So like, yeah.
I appreciate it as in super. When I hear people respond to my story, makes me also grateful that I'm able to somehow make them realize certain things in terms of healing. I'm not the type who would preach people naman, but after what I went through, parang it became my advocacy also to support people who feels alone in their journey because at some point before I was diagnosed, I really felt alone.
Yeah. I know healing isn't like it's a long journey, but I'm curious, was there a point during your healing journey that really you felt like a shift or a change with your perspective in life?
Yes, because I learned to protect my peace and I was also talking with my doctor about boundaries.
Mm.
So he taught me that it's good and it's actually healthy to have boundaries because it means you value yourself. and you now have enough respect for yourself to the point that you don't just allow people to bother your peace. So that's the major shift that happened to me, because of course when we were younger we were taught to adjust to a lot of external factors, or maybe we want to be seen by a lot of people at work, or even in our circle of friends.
Yeah.
But it helped me also realize what the value of a real friendship is, a value of what a healthy relationship is, a healthy dynamic of communicating with each other, listening, being there for someone who feels down. So that's like one of the major shifts that happened to me. So it's
You
really
know,
about the support that I'm able to share with others and the peace that I want to protect.
no, definitely. Like, sometimes I tell my friends when they want to hang out with me, I'm like, okay, just so you know, I'm in my luteal phase, and that phase is like when we almost get our period. And I always say,
Yes.
so I might be a bit negative. So just wanted to let you know if it's okay if you don't want to be around me
Proud.
during
Yes.
that time. So I'm also like
Yes, I get
putting like
you.
boundaries for myself and for others that this is where I'm
Mhm.
at. And if you
Mhm.
yeah, so
Yes.
I feel like I feel like that's also like something that I guess I've learned in the last few years, because I don't know, like it might be a culture thing or a Filipino
Mhm.
thing. Our bubble is like so wide open. I feel.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's true. Especially for, well, based on how I've observed our culture, and especially for women,
Yes.
it's
Oh,
very different.
definitely.
Like, sometimes when you're a woman in the Philippines,
Yes.
diba, you were kind of taught to be the one to be more patient, to adjust more for people, to be very loving, very caring, very giving. And sometimes we lose ourselves when we give too much. So, and we also lose our peace of mind when we do that.
I know exactly. Because, like, I've had an observation with, like, a party here in in New York. Like, all of my friends, no matter the gender, we're all like in the kitchen cooking, preparing, whatnot. And then there's like a big disparity once I get back to the Philippines and Manila, and then I see, oh my goodness, all the women are in the kitchen and all the men are just sitting down. I'm like, oh my
Yes.
god. So sometimes I'm also still quite surprised that, oh
Mhm.
yeah, it is quite different, the
Different. Yes.
cultures. But
Yes.
anyway, let's go naman to what accomplishment are you most proud of and why?
I used to base my accomplishments on really tangible achievements. Let's say I purchased this, I purchased that, but then I realized that they don't really make me happy for a very long time. So I realized my accomplishment would be learning to really guard my heart in a good way, not really closing my doors to people, no, but it's more of me being able to have discernment already. And I didn't know what discernment was way back. I actually just heard it from our friends in Assumption as well,
Okay.
when they were also starting their healing journey. So that's one thing that I learned from our girlfriends.
And can you like define to us what discernment for you is?
Discernment for me is, I don't want to sound too religious or very spiritual naman, but it's me being able to determine. a certain choice is correct or not for me, based on my values, based on my personal beliefs, based on certain principles that I learned to stick to. Because before I didn't know those things.
Yes.
Na I could actually stand up for myself, that I could base my decisions on my values that were really aligned to who I am as a person. So that's I think right now, my major achievement.
And I love that you learned that through your friends, like, the
Yes,
circles that you place yourself in. And
yes.
because Krystel and I are in the same friend group, and whenever I'm hanging out and I visit all of our friends, all the time after I go home super inspired because we always have such inspirational conversations. So I
Mm-hmm.
always look forward to hanging out with you, with the group.
Yes. And I love that we're in this phase where we're able to share our stories comfortably now
Yeah,
and learn more about each other.
exactly. What is something you're deeply passionate about, and how has that influenced you?
I'm deeply passionate about right now is being able to share my healing story. I used to be very passionate about work. I love my job, just to let you all know. I appreciate where I am right now in terms of my career, but I was actually talking to the Lord recently, and I told him that I think what I really want to do, even when I grow older, is to help people heal. So
Mhm.
I'm passionate about helping people heal. I'm not the type who would preach, but if a person would come to me and would like a good listening ear, then I would be that person, so that he or she would not feel alone.
I love that, Tessa. Like, it's in this world, it's kind of hard to find people who are just gonna be there to listen. I feel like there's always just like, oh, let me show some bravado, but not
Yeah.
a lot of deep listeners. And I'm grateful, like, oh, thank you for being one of them.
Oh, yes. When I was starting my healing journey, I didn't know who to talk to. I wasn't opening up with or opening up to my mom yet about what was going on with me internally.
Yeah.
So I really felt alone. But for some reason, when I was in the hospital, in the psychiatric ward, I met people who were going through the same thing.
Hmm.
And for some reason, it felt like I was in a retreat. Sorry. It was, I mean, everybody just loved each other, supporting each other. I could be wrong because people would have a different perspective about their experience in a psychiatric ward. But for me, it became enlightening because that moment I realized, oh, this is what I want to be. I don't want the people around me to feel alone.
I know, and like also, like, I know there's already a stigma with depression, and there's also a stigma with being in the psychiatric ward. So like, even now I'm like, oh my goodness, Krystel is like really sharing these things, and I'm even feeling more comfortable just hearing about these things, and like grateful that we're having this conversation because it's like, oh, okay, you've had like a different experience from, I guess, what people see in movies, or like
Me,
when you say psychiatric ward, it's like, oh my goodness, like that doesn't seem like a place where you can find
yeah.
love and healing and whatnot, but that's actually not the case. So
Yes, yes. It was actually a blessing in disguise. I did not expect it to be like that. Of course, before I entered the ward, I was of course very afraid of what's gonna happen to me inside. But I met really beautiful souls. Like we were talking in a level wherein we were just being human.
Yeah.
I just couldn't share their stories because, of course, I want to also protect them.
Yes, of course.
Maybe they're not ready to share their stories, but they're really beautiful because we were allowed to become human beings. It was the first time wherein I felt I can just be myself here,
Yeah.
and I could actually reboot my mind and process emotions that, especially negative emotions that I did not address before.
I know we've already talked about like setting boundaries and everything, but what other valuable lessons that you've learned so far?
One of the most valuable lessons that I learned would be aligning to my truth. I used to be not naman pretentious in a way na I'm not authentic to the people around me. It's not like that. It's me not being able to voice out what I believe in, what my values are. And my choices were based on social construct. So if they tell me, oh, this is this definition of success, it's this title, it's this level of income. I was like that. Not again, nothing wrong with people who are like that, because of course we all have a different kind of journey when it comes to healing, when it comes to priorities. But for me, I realized that those don't really resonate with who I am as a person. Of course, I need a good amount of income naman to have a good life, diba? Of course, I really appreciate that. But to put that above what I am as a person, it's like I've been lying to myself. That's how I felt the whole time, especially in my career choices
Is,
back then.
is there a quote or mantra or belief that you live by or return to often?
Yes. There's this Bible verse, but I summarized it in my mind. It's actually on my profile as well. It says, Lord will light my path. Basically, that's the meaning of it. So I realized that learn about Jesus or God or whoever we believe in that's above us really affects how we decide, how we move or navigate, we make our decisions. Of course, we're not perfect human beings. We make mistakes. I make mistakes, of course. But when you allow that light to guide you in your journey, as much as possible, you will have to make choices that are not gonna destroy another human being anymore, or
Yeah.
destroy yourself. So that's the mantra right now that I live by.
And what keeps you grounded during the difficult times?
Oh, it's really anchoring to the Lord, especially when we tend to ruminate on negative memories, hurtful events, or sad thoughts. I pray, I talk to Him, and I tell Him, oh, you please guide me, enlighten me, because I don't want to live life in a way that's not me being able to live.
Yeah.
Parang ano lang ako nun, autopilot. I don't want to be like that anymore because I was in that stage before.
Yeah.
So right now, I want to be able to live regardless of how painful some experiences would be. And also, like what my mom has been telling me, enjoy the process,
Yeah.
even the painful ones. Will teach you to become stronger, to become a better person.
What would you say to someone navigating through a tough season?
You are not alone. I understand that we tend to keep it to ourselves kasi when we are in the dark place, because we don't want to spread the negativity,
Yeah.
diba? That's how we are usually. Don't fall into the stigma of not being able to express how you feel, even if it's a negative emotion. Reach out to your friends, even just one friend, or to a family member, or just learn to also be honest with yourself when you need help, because asking for help is never a weakness. That's one thing I also needed to learn before, because I was really prideful. I didn't want to ask for help. I was like, no, I can do this alone. I can do this alone. And then I cracked open, di ba? Nag-crack yung heart ko, yung mind ko nag-crack. And then that's when I realized that no man is an island pala talaga. You would really need someone to be there for you. It could be your psychiatrist, your psychologist, your good friend, your sister, your brother, whoever. Just talk to someone who would be there for you, to support you and listen to you. Now, if you can't find anyone, just talk to me. Ganun lang. I'll make time.
I
Yes.
love that. Oh, to our listeners, if
Your
you need a
listener.
listening ear, oh,
Yes.
Crystal is here. But thank
Yes.
you for the offer. Baka, oh my gosh, magulat ka one day na lang in a few years time, biglang ang daming mag-message sa'yo. Okay, I know we've been leaving a lot of messages, but and advice and everything. And our last question is to that effect. Like, to our listeners right now, if you could say one last thing to them, what would it be?
To keep going. I always tell myself that when times are tough, that this too shall pass. It could be very hurtful at this moment because you're going through something that's probably heartbreaking. But one day when you heal, you will learn to laugh about it. Because that does happen to me a lot of times. When I surpassed a certain phase, a sad phase, and then I realized that I was able to manage it properly na. I laugh about it. Like, oh, I made it. Okay, on to the next problem.
I
On to the next
know.
challenge. Yes.
Like, even if you like have, let's say you've surpassed or overcome one challenge, always another challenge.
Another challenge. Yes.
No, but that's a good reminder. It's like, let's keep
Yes.
going
Let's
because,
keep going.
there's
Yes.
so many beautiful things about life and
Yes.
nothing is ever permanent for sure. Thank you, Crystal, for being here and for sharing so openly. What really stayed with me was when you said that you wanted to, I guess, realign your life with who you are. I think I'm in the process of doing that. So hearing you say that was such a great, I guess, reminder for me as well. It's like, okay, I really feel like I also need to find alignment in everything because I do feel, and I feel like a lot of listeners do as well. So that's such a great reminder. And thank you everyone for listening. Again, your journey is valid, evolving, and entirely your own. See you in our next episode of Your Journey.